that's something that stung them, and they have been training. Even when you talk to the coach, like that has been one of their focal points of training. So I think that the Dockers are going to bring it. They are not underestimating Zetech one bit, especially after the loss that they received in the second leg. So KPA have been training well. They played really well against Equity after losing the first game. After they lost the first game against Equity, but you see how they bounced back and they won convincingly. Zetech, on the other hand, they made short work of Strathmore. It wasn't even a contest. There wasn't a game that was close. So even they are totally focused, and they feel like this is their year, and they want to win it.
All right, that's some great insights as we take a look at Zetech Sparks team roster. And of course, we can't take a look at this roster without mentioning none other than Michelle Sokuju. She is the offensive powerhouse for Zetech Sparks, and you can expect the KPA will be looking at all the kinds of ways they can cut off her game today.
Indeed, Michelle Sokoju has been outstanding. She has had a brilliant series against Strathmore, where there are games where she dropped 30, there are other games where she dropped 24, and she just has a way of getting to her spots, and KPA are going to have their hands full against her.
So as we get ready to take a look at this first game of the day, it's a double-header playoff Saturday here at Makande Gym, and I have to say the weather is nice. I was expecting it to be much hotter than it is. Back when I used to play, they used to close the windows so that we could suffocate as we play the game. I'm happy to report the windows are open.
I guess when it comes to the playoffs, everything is fair in love and war. Yeah, that's called in. You have to win by all means necessary.
All means necessary.
Every means at your disposal.
Whatever it takes. If you're following us on our YouTube page, why don't you go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for Okapi Sports Network. And we've got a giveaway today, so stay locked in to this station and you'll make sure to share the details with you so that you can stand a chance to get a nice little gift package from OSN. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here. As I mentioned earlier, it's the top two seeded teams. Both of them finished with a 20-2 record in the regular season. So it's no surprise to see these teams go at it right here. And Zetech lost to KPA in the first leg and then beat KPA in the second leg. So really, this series could go any way.
As any of the basketball fans out there, I'm sure they would love to see it go all the way, because that means people get entertained for longer. I'm sure none of the teams, Zetech nor KPA, would want it to go past 3 if it's left up to them. So I guess when the ball is tipped up by the referee for the first common ball, then we will see.
And we will see. The man at the helm of Zetech Sparks, Coach Maurice Obi, on your screens right there. And I would say in the list of top developmental coaches in the country, he is up there. For me, top 2.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. He has been producing talent for years, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down.
He doesn't seem to be slowing down. And top of that list is Medina Okot.
Yes.
She's now with the South Carolina Gamecocks. We can see her game has grown while she's been there. But credit to Coach Obi to get her to the point where the South Carolina Gamecocks were able to take a look at her and be like, this is a player that could add value to our squad.
And for some of us who have watched Medina transition from high school to KPA, and then we saw the leap of her skills that it took when she went to Zetech.
All right, game is underway here. KPA draw first blood.
Early on, we had mentioned to watch out for Michelle. Also for KPA, we need to watch out for Alima, as she was KPA's top performer in the last series. She's a handful.
She is a handful indeed. But let's talk about this KPA defense. A quick bucket and then a block on the other end of the floor against Christina Kinyi. Zetech are going to have to play the game of their lives against Kenya Ports Authority, who are feeling good.
Very true. They have their hands full. As you can see, KPA, they have been known for their stifling defense.
Turning the ball over as she runs back down the floor again. An early 2 points for Kenya Ports Authority. Alima Dumbia wearing the number 4 jersey, and she is one of the more outstanding players for Kenya Ports Authority. But really, KPA is a team that has a deep bench.
Yes, they do. They can go up to 12 players deep if they need to.
So Kuju now bringing the ball up. Shakes off her defender, fires, and she misses everything.
I think as Chantal Kiobe, a former Zetech player, was going to contest a shot, she might have hit her glasses, so she didn't quite see the rim. As you see, when she was going back on defense, she was adjusting them.
Valid excuse, Janelle. I see you trying to bail her out. A miss is a miss. That's what I'm saying. And now an unforced turnover for KPA. Ball slips out of the hands of the Kiobe, former Zetech Sparks player. And I'm sure she's having mixed emotions playing against her former team. She had a great stint with them. But business is business as Sokoju now bringing the ball up for Zetech Sparks.
Well, if I was to reference something you mentioned in a previous game when Kobe Bryant played against Pau Gasol, as long as you're not wearing the same jersey, it's war.
It's full out war. KPA playing suffocating defense, managed to force the turnover, and that was a great defensive run from Kenya Ports Authority.
Also, the player who played that particular possession, Yvonne, this year her growth has been tremendous. She got a call up to the national team, and she was actually the top performing big man for KPA in the last series.
And what's even more impressive about that is that it's not like she's the typical post player size. She's about what, 6 foot 5'11"? So for her to have that kind of impact at that height, truly impressive. Kenya Ports Authority, great ball movement to find Kiobe on the attempt. So Kuju with the defensive board, she's going to bring it up. Kick out to Bosbori to Otieno. Otieno fires. Mid-range isn't going to get there. Sparks with a second chance. Kick out to Bosbori from downtown. And Zetech now take the lead, 3-2.
That was an amazing reload by Maureen Bosibori, and she has been shooting all series long, like in the previous series, all season long, and KPA need to rotate better so that not to give her such an open shot.
Grace, top of the key, kicks it out to the pocket. KPA almost get it out of bounds, and that's a nice find for Akinyi. She grabs her own rebound, kicks it out. KPA with another chance to convert possession, no. And that's a nice effort from Christina Akinyi to clean up the boards. So Kuju now with the rock in her hands, and a foul has been assessed on Alima Dumbia. And we talked about it earlier, Trinell. We said a major key for Kenya Ports Authority is to slow down or get the ball out of Michelle Sokuju's hands.
They have to. Michelle plays amazing with the ball in her hands, and the more they get the ball out of her hands, definitely good things will happen for them. But in the event that they do go for a double team or something like that, they need to rotate quickly so that not to give the open shooters a chance, because even people like Christine, they can stretch the floor and they've been known to knock down threes.
Empty possession for Zetech Sparks. Semaseku to bring the ball up for KPA.
Also, in the previous series against the Equity Sparks, against the Equity Hawks, Aminata, she led the team with assists, so she's one who always looks to get her teammates involved.
So she is the offensive orchestrator as we see a foul on the floor.
Aminata loves getting her teammates involved and making sure that everybody has a touch the ball. As you said, she's the offensive orchestrator, and against the Equity Hawks, she averaged 5.2 assists.
Doumbia trying to snatch back the lead from Zetech Sparks. It's been a low-scoring game so far, but that's no surprise here. Again, these are opponents that know each other very well. They've had plenty of time to scout each other. As Doumbia misses the second attempt, tries to get her own rebound. And she is such an aggressive player offensively as Grace gets the mid-range to go.
I would say that Grace also needs to get going. She didn't have the Grace-like series against Equity, but we know her to be a player who can turn it on at any minute.
And now here she is, the defensive board. KPA pushing things on transition. Kyobe at the wing, splits the defense, tries to kick it out. Bosbori with the steal. And now Sema Seku, a necessary kick if you ask me. Zetech are very lethal on their transition offense.
And I think that also KPA got lucky that Bosibori did not see Michelle Sokoju to her far left, who was wide open at the corner.
Sokoju deciding her best option, kicks it into Akinyi. Akinyi off balance on that shot. And now Semaseku to bring the ball up. And she has got that ball on a string. It's great ball movement from Kenya Ports Authority. Grace looked a little bit out of her range, and you could see even with her feet weren't set, she was kind of extending her arm in an awkward way.
Yeah, I felt like she because her feet weren't set, so she didn't get enough power in the ball. The direction was there, but because of the lack of power that you get from your feet, it resulted in an air ball. And if I was Grace, I would not try to force issues. I would just let the game come to me. She's more lethal when she does that, but the moment she starts jacking up shots like that, she's actually bailing Zetech out.
Michelle Sokuju, bang bang, drains the three ball, and Zetech are now back in the lead. And as we hit the halfway mark here of the first quarter, Semaseku feeds Akinyi. There's a kick out to the wing for Kyobe. Kyobe, shot looked good, just a little bit too strong.
That was unlucky for Kyobe. The shot went in and out. But also Kyobe, she's been known to be a very good shooter in her years playing for Zetech. So I wouldn't leave her open too often.
Spin move no good. Semaseku, she's got numbers, decides to go all the way to it and was off target. Zetech Sparks now managed to get the ball loose. Michelle Sokuju thought about the drive, kicks it out for the shot instead. Christine Akinyi way off, and I have found that she has struggled in the playoffs with her shooting, but I know that she is a force to be reckoned with as we look at the nice offensive ball movement to find Grace on the cut.
That was beautiful, unselfish play by the KPA Dockers. And anytime your post player runs the floor down the middle, good things are bound to happen. On the transition, if you have your big men running the floor down the middle, always good things are bound to happen.
So we got about 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in this first quarter. And it has been a grind as we've seen some new faces checking onto the floor. Celine Okumu for KPA. The recent addition, Semaseku now trying to set things up. Okumu at the wing. Bosbori, great steal from her. And I talked to Coach Obi before this game, Tranel, and he
Yes.
told me when they force KPA into a set offense, they have the advantage as we look at Michelle Sokuju knocking down that three with authority.
She is having herself a first quarter.
Already leading all players in scoring in this fourth quarter, and then now Bosbori with the steal, takes her time with it. Michelle, drive, kick, ball is stolen from Semaseku. Semaseku, she's got one on her, shakes off Bosbori, and then she's fouled on the attempt. So she'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
I felt on that prior possession, Michelle Sokoju did a bit too much. She had the wide open shot, she had the teardrop, there was no need to kick it back out. And she was already at a higher percentage shot than the one she was looking for with Maureen Bosibori.
I found that Michelle Sokoju has a higher level of confidence with her mid-range game as opposed to the three-point shot. And maybe that's why she thought twice about taking that shot. And we know how shooters, you have to shoot with the confidence of a million men.
I'm wondering why she would think that. I mean, because she has just hit two big three-pointers in this quarter alone. You know, she had the three, she passed it up, she went in for the jumper and then kicked it out.
Aquino on the drive, off the mark. Grace cleans up the mess. And KPA now leading 10-9. 2:34 on the game clock. Sokuju, she's got Celine on her. Kicks it out to the wing. Bosbori, great find in the post. And then Akinyi didn't have the angle to complete the play. But that was some good ball movement.
Very, very good ball movement. And if they keep doing that, I'm pretty sure as the game proceeds that good things will happen for them. With any offense, as long as it's fluid, then you're bound to have good results.
Semaseku to Irebu. Irebu kicks out to the corner. Okumu on the drive. We know how lethal she is at that baseline, but she's denied that time, and now it's a quick transition play for the wide open layup, and that is where Zetech Sparks are very dangerous.
And KPA were caught napping, and if they continue to do that, then Zetech will run them out of this gymnasium.
Okumu in the corner. She's got options. Doumbia fires off the mark. Here come the Sparks, of course, as usual, getting the ball into the hands of their floor general. And now we got a long three. No good.
It's misses like that that may come back to haunt you later in the game, because that was a wide open point blank miss by the Zetech Sparks. And you know, like for example, if the game goes down to the wire and people are tied with a few seconds left, or you lose by half a basket, then you start to remember the layups you missed that were wide open, the free throws, the rebounds you gave away.
You're preaching to the choir, Turnell. I've had many a sleepless night thinking about the shots I could have made. And for me, the most painful ones are always from the free throw line. Always from the free throw line.
And you're thinking, if you would have made that one free throw, just that one free throw,
You could have changed the whole game.
And with a game that the stakes, where the stakes are as high as this, every possession matters, especially the wide open, easy ones.
Well, right now it's been a very evenly matched game. Neither team getting a lead greater than 2 points. Drive and kick to Akinyi. Akinyi. She's fouled on the way up, so she'll head to the charity stripe. She'll shoot a couple free throws.
Akinyi is fouled by Akinyi.
Akinyi fouled by Akinyi. You know, listen, I can't remember what game it was, but there were like 3 Otieno's. I didn't even know what to do. It was, I think it was in the semifinal series. But it makes things very, very difficult.
Well, at that point, maybe you need to start referring them by their first name.
I think so. Find out what their middle names are.
Find out what their middle names are. Oh, how about you just ask every player to give you their ID cards?
So Christine misses the first free throw and the second. And we've talked about her shooting struggles in this playoff series. And I don't know how she's going to shake off those cobwebs. It happens. I don't doubt that she's been putting work in her game, putting work in her shot. But that's just how basketball is. Sometimes you're off.
Yeah, even the greatest players are known to go into shooting slumps. But she couldn't have gone into a slump, at the worst possible time.
You got the drive. First attempt is a miss. Second one, no good, but it's a great effort from Zetech Sparks. And now we got a couple free throws coming up. And both teams have been struggling from the line this afternoon. Gets the second one to go. It's a 2-point game. Ball brought up by KPA. Long pass to Doumbia. Doumbia on the drive. Try to get it off the glass. Grace now with the attempt, and she's successful, as Zetech Sparks just can't shake off the Dockers.
I think at this point, neither team can shake each other off because they're going neck to neck, toe to toe.
Diana, good find in the low block. And the post player doesn't reward her effort. As we come to the end of the first quarter, and what a quarter it has been. Neither side been able to climb away from each other by more than really 1 point as we end this quarter at a tie. 12 points Zetech, 12 points Kenya Ports Authority. But this is the playoff basketball, and not just that, this is the finals, so no surprise at the scoreline.
I have a feeling that both teams are trying to get a feel for each other, and neither team would want the other to pull away, because if there's one thing that I've noticed to be very hard, it's trying to chase a game in the finals. If the moment a team opens a double-digit lead, you're constantly chasing and you use more energy, more effort.
Indeed, indeed. And we've seen some good offensive plays from both sides. Michelle Sokuju, as usual, on track in terms of leading all players in scoring. It's very tough to stop her. Kenya Ports Authority have been playing more team basketball, and they've been sharing the ball. And, I talked to Coach Obi, and he said that one of their keys to success in this series was to prevent KPA from playing them in one-on-one situations, because Zetech are undersized and, dare I say, across the board underskilled. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily the better team, but KPA have more experience. Their players have a stronger rap sheet than Zetech Sparks.
If Zetech are going to win, I feel somebody else apart from Michelle has to step up. I don't know how far her individual excellence will get them in these finals, because the moment KPA make the adjustments that they are known to make, them being a defensive powerhouse, I think if they take her out of the game, somebody else has to step up for the Zetech Sparks. For KPA, they're still trying to feel in this particular game who will be their go-to person. For the last few games, it's been Alima Doumbia, but we're yet to see an individual from KPA stamp authority in this game.
And I would say for KPA as well, even in the series, it's been Doumbia that has really carried them. And yet we know the kind of caliber of players that they have, from Natalie Akinyi, a wealth of national team experience, and Vilma Cheng. You've mentioned Yvonne Akinyi, Selena Okumu as well. So they've got a lot of talent coming off the bench, where Zetech Sparks lost a lot of talent coming into this season. We mentioned Medina Okot, Kiyobe as well, now playing for KPA. Well, let's get back to the action on the floor. Akinyi almost losing the ball. She does. And now KPA are on transition. That's good defensive recovery from the Sparks. And they've managed to snuff out that attempt from KPA.
That was a beautiful entry pass by Alima, but Celine couldn't. She mishandled it, and it resulted into a turnover. You mentioned something about KPA's wealth of experience, and I just look at their bench and I'm trying to count how many players have actually played even for the national team, and they have quite a few.
They do indeed. Akinyi fires. She's off from that attempt. Grace gets that one to go. And her mid-range game seems to be on point today.
She kind of reminds me somebody who I know, somebody who I'm sitting next to.
Couldn't be me.
Could be.
Akinyi now converts.
With a quick reply, and we are tied again.
We're tied again. Again, this game is probably going to come down to who executes their plays the best. A lot of history between these two teams. Grace off the mark on that attempt. Akinyi cleans up the boards. Here comes Everlyn Diana.
You mentioned them having a lot of history. This is also not their first time meeting in the finals. And the previous time they met in the finals, obviously KPA got the better of the Zetech Sparks, but Zetech looked a bit more focused and composed this season.
Sakuju, she's got Doumbia on her. Hesitation, could she go all the way? No. She kicks it out. And now we got a wide open 3-ball, not going to get there. Zetech Sparks doing a great job on the boards, giving themselves a lifeline over and over again. Akinyi with a spin move. And despite us talking about the wealth of experience KPA has, Sparks playing like a well-seasoned team.
The training, the development, like Coach Obi, is very evident, even with basic moves like that.
Sparks playing fundamentally sound basketball, and now Doumbia with the air ball. We're going to have some substitutions on the floor. Checking into the game, Cynthia Mawero. And Mawero, she's one of those players you'd love to have as a sixth man. She comes in with a lot of energy and with a spark that could get the team going. So let's see how they adjust here.
One thing that I love about Cynthia is that for her, numbers don't matter. She'll do all the dirty work, you know, she'll put it all out there, and every team needs a player like that.
I like to call her one of the most hard-working players in the league. You just have to follow her social media page and you see just how much work she puts into her game.
Yeah, Cynthia Maya, formerly of Equity Hawks, and she made the transition to KPA this season.
Shot clock at 10. Decisions have to be made. Okumu fires. That looks off, and it goes out of bounds. 6:50 on the clock here. This game is whistling by. Diana. She's locked up on the sideline. Possession stays with Zetech Sparks. And I have to say that I am impressed with the composure that Zetech Sparks are showing here. Playing at this level, knowing the stakes, understanding who they're playing against. Oh my goodness, Michelle Sokuju. If she had knocked that down, that would have been something.
That's what I call a $100 move with a 10-cent finish. But that was a beautiful move. And also, when you're talking about Cynthia, even if you follow Michelle Sokojo on her social media and the amount of work that she puts into a game, so it is not by chance or by luck or by accident that she pulls off moves like that. She actually works for them.
The name of their program is, I believe it's called Elevate Training. And if you're trying to step up your offensive game and deep in your bag, I highly recommend that you give her a call, you give her a shout out, and go on down to, I believe they are at APSA
Yes.
along Thika Road, and
Yes.
that's where they do their training.
Yes.
But I've actually seen players in our league improve exponentially after going through that training program, and now they're heading to Tanzania to improve the skill set in that country. So honestly, it's great to see great players in the league giving back,
Mhm.
understanding that they're talented, and then trying to pass that talent on, not trying to gatekeep it.
Some of the moves that she does during training, I look at it and I feel pain in my knees. But for her, she pulls it off so effortlessly. There seems to be a stoppage on the floor. Oh, the issue has been resolved.
So it's going to be inbounded from the baseline. Semaseku swings it to Doumbia. Doumbia at the top of the key, kicks it out, and a long pass to Okumu. Okumu stop and pop. Not able to connect on that one. Zetech Sparks almost losing it. To chase down the ball, they managed to secure the possession. Michelle Sokuju now at the wing. Mid-range game. Looks good. And now good, unselfish basketball. Minayo off the mark. And we have another foul on the floor. Akinyi giving the KPA front court a headache.
Big shout out to the Zetech post players. They are really working the boards. So far in this game, I think they have been the board masters.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have a timeout on the floor. And KPA have some things they got to work out. They are allowing Zetech Sparks to get into their rhythm. They're allowing them to operate the way they want to and get to the spots where they're the most effective.
Yeah, if I was the KPA bench right now, or rather, I think one of the things that they need to address is the rebounding issue, because Zetech are getting far too many offensive rebounds. And also, so far, Michelle, she's getting to a spot, it's just that the shots are not dropping. I have a feeling that when the shots start to drop, KPA are going to be in big trouble.
So this is the first of a double-header this afternoon. It's going to be Zetech Sparks against KPA, and then right after this game, it's going to be the undefeated Nairobi City Thunder playing against Kenya Ports Authority. That game is going to be an interesting one to watch. So listen, you got to keep it locked right here on Okapi Sports Network. We will be covering both of those games live, myself and Tranel. And this has been a long season, Tranel. I feel like we started in 2022.
Long is an understatement. I feel like this season has been going on forever.
I'm really glad we finally made it to the finals. And I'm really glad that women's basketball is no longer a two-horse race. Zetech has entered the group chat and are giving even defending champions like Equity Hawks a tough time. It's a testament to the growth of women's basketball in the country. We're back on the up and up. Okumu tries to find Akinyi. Akinyi to Doumbia. Doumbia up and under. Akinyi on the boards. Evelyn and Anna. Is she going to go all the way with it? She's blocked. And that's a great defensive effort from KPA.
As Aminata looks to be in some form of discomfort. Glad that she's able to shake it off. A couple of years ago, she picked up a knee injury while in Rwanda, so it is good to see her back and healthy. It's the playoffs. We want the best players to play, and we want our players to be available.
Minayo, shot fake, goes for the attempt. He's off target. And the ball is chased down and brought back into action for KPA.
So the player who just checked in for KPA, Barbara Diana, she was one of the X factors in their series against the Equity Hawks. She brings great energy. she's a defensive beast, and she averaged about 8 rebounds against the Equity Hawks. She's the type of 3-and-D players. Something funny, when the season started, Barbara Dana was actually playing for Zetech, and then she left mid-season to join the Dockers. So there's a lot of familiarity around.
A lot indeed. But once you get on that floor, you got to rep the jersey that's on your back. And today, she's a Docker, even though I'm sure she still has very close ties with her former teammates. As we see the men's Kenya Ports Authority team starting to trickle in here. They've got a game right after this one, as we said earlier. Steele and Kyobe fighting to keep the possession. Michelle Sokuju gets it back. Minayo, ball rolls out of bounds. And it's KPA's ball, but it seems like the refs are letting the ladies play. There was a lot of contact.
There was.
That loose ball.
If the refs start calling everything now, it will be a precedent that they set for the whole playoffs.
Not a lot of stoppage in this game, I must say. Kyobe from downtown, kiss off the glass, and the bank is open this Saturday afternoon. Sokuju now kicks it out to Evelyn Diana. Oh, she's blocked by Semaseku. And now Kenya Ports Authority trying to extend this lead. Missed the first attempt. Doumbia with the spin move.
She threw up a prayer and it was answered.
The Lord is with us. And now Zetech Sparks slowly unraveling. Coach Obi very wisely has called a timeout.
As you mentioned, he very wisely called a timeout because he felt a momentum shift, and as a coach you would not want the other team to start building momentum, getting into it, emotionally all pumped up, so you have to try and put out that fire before it grows.
Morel Spencer up on the screens there. Here to cheer on the ladies. He's one of the star post players for the KPA men's team. And it's great to see them come out here to support the ladies. KPA have gone on a little bit of an offensive run. And I think they have managed to take the lead away from Zetech Sparks. Coach Obi, one of the most intelligent coaches in the game here. He knows when to call that timeout to disrupt the flow of the opposing team.
I think that both of the coaches, because on the other side we have Coach Anthony Ojuku, who has been at every stage possible. So it is great to see two of the top coaches in the country going at it. We are thrilled, and I think this is the largest lead. When we say the largest lead, it may sound like a lot, but it's only 3 points. But it is the largest lead of this game. That's how tight this game is.
As we take a look at that wild shot from Doumbia, and she got it to go, but maybe that's what she needs to do in this game. As we get back into this second quarter, KPA now with a 3-point lead, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. And it has been back and forth between these two teams. Sokuju trying to set Sparks up. Doumbia playing lockdown defense. Kuju all the way to the cup. And that's why we call her one of the best offensive players in this league this season. And then now on the other end, Kenya Ports Authority putting on an offensive motion clinic.
Those were two beautiful plays by the two teams.
So Kuju, wild pass is off. She thought her post player was going to cut.
Yeah, she anticipated and she threw the ball where her teammate was not.
So checking into the game now is Beryl Otieno for the Zetech Sparks as Semaseku brings the ball up. Kick out to the corner. Corner three is good. Dumbia starting to heat up here.
Zetech were caught napping because she was wide open. I don't think she's been that open this whole game. And without hesitation, she knocks it down.
Sakuju
Ooh.
meets the long arm of KPA's defensive law. And now Semaseku to bring it up. Kenya Ports Authority starting to stamp their authority in this game, but we see a steal there. Zetech Sparks have been unable to convert on their possessions. Christina Akinyi's scoring woes continue. They've got a second chance here. Akinyi, blocking foul has been called on number 21, Barbara Diana. She's not happy with that call, but it was indeed a blocking foul.
It was the right call by the referee because she bumped Christine with her side. She wasn't standing straight. She didn't have the defensive position. At times, it is very normal for every player. Very rarely do players agree with the call. Most players, the first nature is just to contest the call, but that was the right call.
Barbara trying to push the ball up. Kenya Ports Authority now seem to have taken control of this game. Kiyobe off the mark. Defensive board Akinyi. She's going to bring the ball up. And that's kicked out to the wing. It's a 4-point game here in Makande Arena, and a double dribble has been called on Evelyn Diana.
Yeah, I felt like she was doing a bit too much on that particular player as she had her teammates who were wide open.
Dangerous pass from Dumbia, but it finds its mark. Grace unable to convert. Barbara cleans up the glass, and it is KPA's front court that are putting in the work for the Dockers.
Yeah, so one thing I mentioned was their rebounding worries, and I think it was addressed in the timeout. And now they are doing a way better job as Chantal Kiobe totally bails out Christine. That was an off-balance shot. I don't think it was going anywhere near the net, and she's totally bailed out.
You know, I talk a lot about basketball being a mental sport as it is physical. In fact, arguably more mental than it is physical. You can have some slow players who are more effective than a fast player if they understand the game. As Akinyi misses everything on that free throw, and for my very basic assessments, Christine is not mentally locked in yet. And once she is able to get over that hump, you've talked about Trinell, how everyone needs to come to the table for Zetech Sparks and how valuable her offensive play is to the Sparks. When she locks in, this team is going to be off to the races.
Definitely. Christine has been one of the more dependable players throughout the years for Zetech. So for her going into a shooting slump now at the biggest stage of the season, I really hope that she's able to break free of it.
We got a pushing foul. So it's going to be black ball on the side.
And that's foul number 2 on Grace.
It's been clean basketball so far. Kenya Ports Authority with the 6-point lead here.
If our viewers at home are wondering why the Zetech Sparks are shooting, it's because KPA are over the foul limit. As you can see at the table there, the flag is up.
Dumbia at the wing. Tween. She's got black shirts all over her. And now we have a jump ball. And Dumbia kept the ball for too long in her hands, drove right into 3 Zetech Sparks defenders. Do not recommend.
She literally walked into a trap. Very willingly, I might add, because she had options.
1 minute to go here in the first half of this game. We've got a steal by Minayo. She's on the drive. Tries to go all the way with it and draws the foul. No, an offensive foul called on Minayo. And Christine.
You see, as Aminata was trying to get to Minayo, Christine was shielding her away and kept her away. And the referee was on point to see it.
And we talked about Akinyi's lapses and how Zetech Sparks need her in this game on the offensive and defensive end. That's a great steal. Evelyn, kick out to Akinyi. Akinyi lines it up, unable to lock it down.
Well, my question to you, Slale, would be, at what point does a shooter stop shooting even when they are missing?
I'm the wrong person to ask that because you won't like my response, Tronell. But that's a great defensive effort from Darlene Njoroge. And now the steal on the other end from Semaseku. Semaseku kicks it out to Dumbia. Dumbia, shovel pass. Grace can't connect. Evelyn, 3-on-2. Can Zetech Sparks convert? No, not before the end of the first half. And Kenya Ports Authority finish up this first half of the game with a 5-point lead, 26 to Zetech Sparks, 21 points. But let me tell you, that scoreline doesn't tell even half of the story of what we've seen here so far. It's been a nail-biting game. For the better part of the game, no team had a lead greater than 1 point.
Yes.
Trading leads by literally one. If it goes by much, 2 points.
For the whole of the first quarter, there's no team that pulled away with more than 2 points. And so far, the highest lead in this game has been 6 points by the Dockers. At some point, they led 26-20.
All right. We're going to take a very short break, but listen, this is not a game that you want to leave to this halftime. Anything can happen in the second half. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
My name is Gift Kerubo. I play position 2 for spears, and I've been playing basketball for 7 years, since 2017 when I was in high school. Yeah. I feel like everyone thinks about it, but yeah, me personally, I have thought about it. Basketball kama career, like a full-time career, is really nice. If I love sports, so if I get something like that, it would make me happy, and I would obviously accept the offer.
And what do you think, like, why do you think the limitation inakuja wapi to hindering that dream?
Me, the first limitation is kuna few teams. Opportunities ni few, because not many teams take pro players, pro. They're very, very few. Like, especially in Kenya, there are not many pro teams. Like, okay, let me take an example of Thunder. If you look at men's teams, a team you could say is pro is Thunder, maybe KPA and Equity. But what else? It's just them. And when you look at women's team, it's just KPA and Equity. Those are 2 teams, and there's so many players in Kenya. There are like more than 100.
Yeah,
there are many players who want the same opportunity as I do.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, but maybe hard work. Hard work might get you there.
Yeah.
Jemima, I have. But I don't know her second name, Jemima Equity. But I wouldn't. Sitaki sound glazed in that. Kwa hiyo interview I looked at. Locally, I admire to be like Jemima. I want to shoot like her. She's someone I look up to because she plays exactly how I feel I should be playing. Basketball is like my relief from life, and I feel like playing basketball has helped me. It has built my confidence. It has made me a better person. Like, I used to be so timid, but right now I am such a better person. I can do so many things by myself. Basketball has done so much for me. That's why I love it.
Hello, my name is Brian Otieno, head coach at Soccer Plus Academy.
Tulianza kufanya exam Tuesday yenye tulikuwa tuenda swimming. Sasa tuenda. Sisi tunaenda basi.
Anything else?
Good thing I also improved in science from 64 to 84.
64 to 84. That's 20. Yeah, sasa pigia apate makofi. Apige makofi yake. So what we do in a nutshell is every morning when you come to training, let them express themselves, making them share with us how their week has been. Adrian, on you, tell us.
Something. Where? Salam.
Sasa.
Something good?
Yes. We had 7 birthdays in our class.
Jesus, guys. In one day. Jesus. That is why you have
Jana.
7 birthdays.
18.
Okay.
Kila mtu ni 18.
Something bad. I dropped by 1%.
By 1%. So every kid has to talk, telling us something good or something bad about their week.
Mwingine mbaya sikuenda shule.
Kwenda shule. Jana kwenda shule.
Jana nilienda shule last night.
Thursday. Okay. Because when you come to the field, one of the most important acts is communication. As a player, how can you communicate? Then that communication, when you harness it, how does it help you even at home? How does it help you at school? How do you communicate with your mom? How do you communicate with your father? How do you communicate with the teachers? How do you relate with your fellow students? Let's be in the pitch in the next 10 seconds.
Vamos!
Yeah, it was interesting because one kid said he got less by 1%.
Yeah.
And it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. Yeah.
It's only 1%. So it's very interesting to see how they think, how they reason, and what they consider is good and bad.
Yeah.
And do you have like a success story about these kids? Like a kid maybe you have seen what they have become, what they were, and what they are now?
Yes, we've had success stories, and one of the success stories, one of the players that is currently with us is called Edward.
Nataka kuona vile una stop. Aliacha viatu nyumbani ati ni baridi. Edward, unasimama juu, ukirudi unasimama mahali umeenda, usirudi chini.
Enda juu Edward.
Enda juu Edward. Ready, set.
When Edward came, we thought maybe Edward was shy, but I came to understand that it was not about shyness. It was about Edward not being given a platform in his previous team, a platform to express himself.
Yeah.
So we started to build that. We started working on that. We brought some exercises in the football that could make Edward talk.
Let's go again. Mike on my ball. Got again position.
But we are happy when we see him express himself. You know, he's talking, he's smiling. Yeah, so Edward, he was very shy, and that was like 6 months ago. When all this is said and done, that is what will judge us.
Let's go, 10 seconds to go.
We'll not be judged by how good a player can pass a ball. We'll be judged by how good this player has become.
3, 2, 1.
If you're just joining us, welcome to Makande Gymnasium for Game 1 of the Women's KNBL Finals between Kenya Ports Authority and Zetech Sparks. KPA and Zetech have been neck and neck. KPA was able to crawl away by 5 points towards the end of the first half. Turnell, what are the Dockers doing right?
So far, they have managed to get the ball out of Michelle's hands. So far, they have managed to get the ball out of Michelle's hands, and they have rectified the rebounding issue. We talked about it in the first quarter that they were really struggling rebounding, as Zetech were getting quite a number of rebounds both offensively and defensively, which was a concern. So I think the adjustments they've made to try and force the ball out of Michelle's hands so far has been working. And then also for the Zetech Sparks, I think something that they need to do is to get the other players involved. The other players, they have to step up. It cannot be a one-person show. It definitely cannot be a one-person show. And then for the Zetech, they are not rewarding themselves with all the offensive rebounds they've gotten. They have very little to show for it because they dominated the boards in the first quarter. But if you look at the scores so far this game, it has been very close. Zetech, they need to do a better job of rewarding themselves for the extra hustle possessions that they are making.
Sakuju now kicks it out to Bosbori. Bosbori feeding the post. Square up from Otieno. Otieno gets it off before the buzzer. And that's what Zetech Sparks need her to do every possession.
So far this game has been tighter than Taita Taveta.
Grace, she's locked up defensively. Semaseku bails her out. It's a kick out to Doumbia. Doumbia can't connect. KPA have been doing a good job of making sure they slow down the Sparks on transition. Otieno way off, and then there's a block, but it's called a foul. And that's going to be called on Yvonne Akinyi.
You see, and it's things like that. The Zetech Sparks, they got the blow by against Grace, and they missed the layup point blank. And it's small things like that that will count by the end of the game.
Angela Akinyi gets the first free throw to drop. And Sparks did a good job in the first half getting themselves to the free throw line. And I've seen a lot of games won from the free throw line. I think those are attempts that are very much underrated when it comes to the game of basketball. But you're able to draw that foul and get those freebies. It puts your team in a good spot. Grace, shot looked good, gets it to drop.
She picked up where she left off in the first half. She finished the first half with 10 points, and she's right there with it again.
Michelle Sokuju fighting for her own rebound. She gets it back. Great effort from her. Now it's the long pass. And the attempt from Christine Akinyi. And she does a good job of drawing the foul. And you have to wonder if that's not a conversation that Coach Obi had intentionally coming out of the halftime.
You see, whenever your shots aren't sinking, it's you need to put the ball on the floor and make a play to get to the rim. That way you can get yourself going even if your shots are not falling.
So Sokuju has been held to 8 points in this game, and this is a player who averages 20 points and above. So the KPA have been doing a good job of making sure that she doesn't get the opportunities that she's used to usually getting. As we see the Sparks now inbounding here.
After a hot start, That was an amazing play by Christine. You see, it's what I'm saying. The moment your shots are not dropping as a player, do something else to get yourself going offensively. And right now, she has made two very decisive plays by attacking the rim hard, and good things are happening for her.
Good things are happening for her, and I do believe outside of the free throw, that was her first field goal for the game. So again, I don't know what Coach Obi said in that halftime, but Zetech Sparks, Christina Kinyi might be now finally stepping into her game. Sema Seku kicks it out to Kiyobe. Kiyobe fakes the pass. Off the mark on the three-point shot. Barbara keeps things alive. Throws it right into the hands of Sokuju. Sokuju. Ball is snuffed out. And Sparks will get things started from the sideline.
So far, one of the key things that KPA has done, as you mentioned, Michelle, is they've tried to get the ball out of her hand and force the others to play.
Ochieno blocked.
Beautiful defensive stance.
Now a steal from the Zetech Sparks. Kick out, it's a long range two. Sokuju off the mark. Akinyi finds herself wide open, comes up short. Kenya Port's Authority unable to convert in that possession. Barbara found herself wide open at the rim and couldn't convert.
She started taking her steps way too early, and then she was done. She was still far out, and that caused her. It's been a very tough shot.
Akinyi, that's a dangerous pass. Dangerous cross-court pass. It's deflected by Barbara Diana. And it's a 2-point game here. KPA in the lead, just about 3 minutes gone in the third quarter. Sokuju at the top of the key. They've got 3 to shoot. Sokuju hits the front of the rim.
Again, so we see the stifling defense by KPA, forcing the Zetech Sparks to take a very hurried, desperate shot with the shot clock winding down.
Step back 3 is good for Semaseku.
She shot that thing, she was in total perfect. The rhythm of feet was set, the follow through was there. Beautiful shot.
Beryl Otieno shovel pass almost didn't reach the mark. And now Sokuju got 10 on the shot clock. Shot fake, goes up the second attempt, and look at her go. Michelle Sokuju is starting to fire up.
That was a beautiful shot fake by Michelle. And that is one matchup that we are going to see a lot of between Alima and Michelle. Since the game started, Alima has been the primary defender on Michelle. And that's going to be a very interesting matchup. In fact, one of the keys for this series.
So KPA managed to maintain the lead here by 2 points.
Just as a by the way, as Chantal Kyobe was tying her shoes, let me just take a minute to appreciate all the players and the effort they put into their shoe game.
We love to see it. And if you want a closer look, you just need to go on to Hoops Mtani on social media. He always makes sure he captures the footwork of these players in Kenya's league, and that is a backcourt violation. Michelle Sokuju under duress against Doumbia, and credit to Doumbia, her lockdown defense is really forcing Michelle to think outside the box.
Alima Doumbia is an amazing on-ball defender, one-on-one, so that's why you find most of the times in the game, in the first half, on the second quarter rather, she was forcing the ball out of Michelle's hands because she's an amazing on-ball defender.
Handoff Semaseku. Semaseku, change of speed. Barbara fires. She misses that attempt. And KPA have managed to creep away to a 5-point lead here. Kiyobe inbounds, long pass to Doumbia. Irebu Hand off to Kyobe. Kyobe in motion. Can't get that one to drop.
She was just a little bit strong. But if you ask me, that was a good shot. Her feet were set. She was in position. It wasn't hurried. And as a coach, especially her being a shooter, I would encourage her to keep taking such shots.
So foul called on Sema Seku.
That would be her second foul.
And as I said earlier, it's a good mix of physicality but clean basketball in this game. The refs have been letting the ladies play. Not had too much stoppage. Bosberry tries to kick it out for the mid-range shot. Not going to get there.
Again, beautiful ball fake. That was a very high IQ play.
Sema Seku from downtown. Barbara cleans up the mess. And we're going to have a reset for Zetech Sparks.
Barbara Diana is one of the players who will gladly do all the dirty work. And as I said, she's normally a 3-and-D player. She's known for her defensive prowess. Ever since she was in high school, she just played with the 3x3 national team, the under 21, the ladies who were in Algeria, I think, just a month ago.
Akinyi almost loses her footing. She's got Kyobe on her. And a good steal from Sema Seku. Sema Seku keeps it alive. Kyobe now to bring the ball up for Kenya Ports Authority. Doumbia didn't anticipate the return on defense by Zetech Sparks.
Is it on? That was a miscommunication by Alima and her teammates. As Michelle Sokoju brings up the ball, she takes an off-balance three-point shot. The boards are controlled by Barbara Diana, kicks it out to Natalie Akinyi. Natalie Akinyi brings up the ball to Grace, thought about it. Natalie looking for the entry pass. The ball is deflected out of bounds. As the referees come together, that's a call that can be reversed. It's a correctable call, and the ball remains with KPA.
Gracie Rebu, mid-range game is on point today. And that is continuing from the first half into the second half. Zetech Sparks now with down 7 points. It's the biggest lead that Kenya Ports Authority have had so far in this game.
Yeah, so far they are leading by 7 points, and it's because KPA are a bit more patient. Grace really asked for that ball. She was in position a long time ago. Grace is leading this game by the total score. She has 14 points.
And then the long pass, and it's a turnover that Zetech Sparks can't afford to have. That's going to be their 15th turnover.
You know, there are some people who say that mostly the game is decided in the third quarter, and KPA are slowly making their mark of authority in this quarter.
I do agree with you with that statement. A lot of games have been decided in the third quarter. As we see Sokuju, who's had a tough day today. That is a nice runner from Bosbori. And Zetech now just within arm's reach from KPA. We've got 2:47 in this third quarter. But it's clear to see that Kenya Ports Authority are in the driver's seat right now. Grace banging in the paint.
There was a lot of contact on that play, but as you said, the refs have been letting the game flow, because these are the playoffs. You know, these are the finals.
Playoff basketball is another animal altogether. And we talked about
Indeed.
mental strength, mental fortitude. It's a huge factor when it comes to playoff basketball. And when you think of this series, it's going to be a best of 5 series. Potentially, you're playing up to 3 games back to back. Next weekend, if this game goes to game 5, they're going to be playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And that is very physically taxing. But as you mentioned, it's more mental than it is physical. You know, how much or how hard can you push your body? And this is the playoffs. You know, the thing is that if you are locked in mentally, if you push yourself hard enough, after this it's off season.
So Angela Akinyi, ball rolls away. Christine keeps it alive. Bosbori now a deep 3. Yes! Bosbori, a crucial 3-point shot for Zetech Sparks to bring them that much closer to KPA. It's now a 1-point game.
And all that was made possible by the offensive rebound. In the first quarter, Zetech totally dominated the offensive boards. KPA did a better job in the second quarter of adjusting, but now in this quarter again, we have seen Zetech get quite a number of crucial offensive boards which give them extra possessions.
So we've got a pushing foul. The ball is going to be inbounded from the baseline. It's Kiyobe. We've got some substitutions on the floor. Checking into the game is Mawero as Barbara gets a breather.
While you're talking about the offensive rebounds, fun fact, Angela Akinyi from Zetech has 6 offensive rebounds so far this game. And then also Beryl Atieno has 4 offensive rebounds. Just between the 2 players, they have picked up 10 offensive rebounds, and that's huge.
We said one of the keys to this series is who controls the boards. And right now, it's looking like Zetech Sparks are the ones who are really leading the way when it comes to the boards. But Kenya Ports Authority not far behind. And that's really why you can see the stat line is what it is at a 1-point differential. It's a very evenly matched game.
You see, but even as we're looking at the stats, with the KPA ladies, the person who has the highest offensive boards is Grace with 3, as compared to 6 from the other side. Then there's nobody else who is even close from KPA. The other next person has only 2 offensive rebounds. But you see, with Zetech, between 2 players, they have 10 offensive rebounds.
And that's why we're seeing Zetech Sparks getting a lot of second chance points in this game.
Yes. Because
they're missing though.
Yeah, they are. And during the halftime, one thing that I said is that they are not rewarding themselves enough for the extra possessions that they are getting, because they are getting a ton of possessions, especially off the offensive glass, but they are not but it is not tallying with the scores. If they would have scored at least just a half of the offensive rebounds they would have gotten, I think they would be in a comfortable maybe 8 to 10 point lead.
As we take a look at some of the highlights from the third quarter so far, Michelle Sokuju not being as active as she usually is in this game, very understandably so. Kenya Ports Authority did their scouting report appropriately, but we're starting to see other players now coming to the fore and delivering. We see the runner there from Bosbori, and then Bosbori again from deep, way beyond the 3-point line. That was a very crucial 3-ball for Zetech, and that's what actually brought them to this 1-point deficit.
There are people, I don't know whether Maureen Bosbori was in KPA scouting report, but if she wasn't, then she needs to be, because she has been doing that for a number of years now. She's known to launch those threes very high arcing from 2 or 3 steps beyond the line.
And yet it is very easy to underestimate her. She's one of those players who sneaks in the cracks. I remember when I was playing for Equity Bank and we were playing against Zetech Sparks and they blew us out of the water. She was very key to that squad, and her 3 points were very key in getting those victories.
and she does it so silently. She's not flashy, so it's very easy for her to fly under the radar.
Just about 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Bosbori feed into Akinyi. Akinyi's got Irebu on her. Splits the defense, goes all the way to the cup and is too strong off the glass. Here comes Semaseku. Semaseku trying to set something up for KPA. She's got Bosbori on her. Manages to get it to Grace Irebu. Awero fouled on the attempt, so she earns a trip to the charity stripe.
And that was a beautiful high-low play between the two post players in KPA. Grace, noticing that Cynthia Mawero was in a better position, and immediately dumped the ball to her for the higher percentage shot.
And it's those quick reads that really have come to play for Kenya Ports Authority and really tells of the experience and basketball IQ that this team has. So Mawero gets the second free throw to go in. And they've pulled away once again to a 2-point lead. Bosbori thought about the pass. In, gets it out to Akinyi. Akinyi spins, trying to shake off her defender. Christine Akinyi now is fouled by Mawero. And Christine Akinyi has been doing a fantastic job of drawing the foul in the last several minutes of play.
And that's the adjustment that she has made. If you noticed, she hasn't attempted a 3-point shot yet this quarter. She's been putting the ball on the ground and driving hard to the cup.
And you asked a question earlier on in this game. At what point, as a shooter, do you realize your shot is not falling and change to something different? I think it's when your coach tells you. Because shooters, the way I know the shooters in my career, they will shoot and shoot regardless of whether the ball is going in. So I think it's up to the coach to decide if they want their shooter to keep on attempting or to try something different. Great deflection from Akinyi as she gets back on defense.
My take is normally if you shoot yourself into a slump, you shoot yourself out of it.
Coach Tronell said so. Kiyobe from downtown. That one's way off. She didn't have the legs to get the shot to get to its target. It's a 1-point game once again. Low scoring game, but don't let that fool you. It's been back and forth between these teams. We knew it was going to be tough coming into the playoffs. Bosbori now at the top of the key. She's a very real shooting threat when she's that far from beyond the arc. Decides to take it in this time. And KPA on the defensive board. Semaseku now bringing the ball up. Kicks it out to Kiyobe. Kiyobe from downtown isn't going to get there.
So in the last shot that Kiyobe took, it was way too short, resulted in an air ball. This shot was a bit strong, so she just needs to find that middle ground in her shot.
Akinyi, she's got Grace on her, kicks it out to Bosbori. Bosbori, they swing the ball around. Michelle Sokoju with their teardrop finds the bottom of the net. And Zetech now with the lead against KPA.
As Aminata takes matters into her own hands and she just pulls up. I think this is the first time that we have seen a player do that. That was great realization that the game clock was winding down, and for her to be in a position to make that decision. I was just about to say that that's the first time that a KPA player has just brought the ball up and pulled up from three without going into their offensive plays. But she realized that the game clock was winding down and she took the shot. And that shot has given KPA a 3-point lead going into the fourth. Silale, so far this game has been extremely tight. No team has been able to get a double-point lead.
The biggest lead that we've seen in this game was a 7-point lead that KPA had earlier. Adjustments were made on the Zetech Sparks end. We've seen Christine Akinyi come to the party. Finally, she's checked in a little bit late, but now she's able to get 4 points in that third quarter. But it has indeed been a low-scoring game. Michelle Sokuju leading for Zetech with 13, and then Bosbori with 8 points with 2 made three-pointers. And it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle on the KPA end. You have only 2 players in double digits for points, and that's Alima Doumbia, who has been contained so far in this second half. And then Gracie Rebus, whose mid-range game has really been bailing KPA out.
So far, you see, Alima is being forced to play. Have a total of 14 steals in this game. Again, you see, Zetech have the numbers, but it's not reflecting on the scores. They have the offensive rebounds, they have the steals, but it's not reflecting on the scores.
It's not converting the points. It's not converting the points.
They need to make sure that these extra possessions they're getting via the steals, via the offensive rebounds, it has to show up on the scoreboard.
Well, right now they're shooting 25% from mid-range, which is a very, very low percentage for Zetech Sparks.
Extremely.
Who their meat and drink really is the mid-range game. They have decent three-point shooters, but that's really what get the majority of their points.
And their free throw percentage is at 21. And they have gone to the line a number of times.
So it's a tough day in the office for Zetech Sparks. Grace, patient on offense, misses the first attempt, gets the close range bucket to go on the second.
As she put some muscle in a hustle. that was just a tough move by an extremely gifted player offensively. And Maureen Bosbody right back. This is back and forth. I actually feel like we are watching a game of tennis and not basketball, because it's just back and forth, back and forth.
And then Basket doesn't want the long range three, so it's going to be Sparks ball as Minayo checks into the game. But that lady on your screens right there, Bosbori, has been keeping Zetech Sparks in this. She is a two-way specialist, getting things done on the offensive and defensive end. Again, as Tranel rightfully said earlier, we have 14 steals for Zetech Sparks, but what they've not been able to do is convert those kinds of stats into buckets. And now here comes Sokuju with the ball. She's got Doumbia on her. Doumbia couldn't play that defense any better. Manages to prevent Sokuju to attempt. We got 5 on the shot clock. Angela Akinyi, high off the glass. Basket doesn't want it, but she heads to the free throw line to shoot 2.
The basketball gods did not smile down on her on that particular possession, but that was a beautiful move.
It was a beautiful move, and she has had 6 points for the game, but her overall contribution to this team is massive. Zetech Sparks would not be within arm's reach of KPA if she wasn't on the floor.
Yeah, also, you know, like as you said, her contribution, if you look at the offensive board she's given them, crazy. As she gets the second one to drop, there's a substitution. Barbara Dana checking in for Cynthia Mawero.
Two-point game. And the
that
final
has been
quarter.
The story of this whole game.
It really has. It really, really has. And so now in this final quarter, it's going to come down to who executes their plays the best. They say basketball is a game of stops and runs.
Exactly.
And
No, but if I look at the whole game, Silale, I think it's only KPA who have managed to put together a mini run that gave them the 6-7 point lead. But then after that, there's no team that has been able to pick up the momentum. So I'm wondering, is it the offense that's off or is it the defense that's good?
the perennial question.
as Aminata misses both of her free throws. This is the fourth quarter with the game so close. These things, hopefully, they won't come to haunt someone.
Michelle Sokoju, again, great effort from her. She was unable to finish up that layup. Semaseku gets it out to Doumbia. Kenya Ports Authority unable to convert, come up empty in that possession. And Zetech Sparks with another chance. Michelle Sokoju, she's kept the ball in her hands for a long time. And you talked about Sparks needing to play team basketball. Sokoju shakes off her defender. Berlotieno chases down the rebound, throws it right into the hands of Doumbia. And now Michelle forced to foul on transition. But that's the issue right there, Turnell. Michelle needs to understand that she has 4 other players on the floor who can give just as much effort that she can.
Because even if you look at the scores, for example, somebody like Maureen Bosibori, she has shown up at least, so she needs to get the others involved, and the others also, they need to step up. There's no finals, even though like one player might score 30, but they need the others to step up in different ways. And so far, that has not been the case for most of the Zetech players. As Alima Doumbia sinks the first free throw, I think the referee assessed a clear path foul, because as Alima was making her way up, Michelle fouled her with no intent to play the ball. So that results in a clear path foul, two free throws and possession.
It's the West African showdown. Alima Doumbia from Cote d'Ivoire against Michelle Sokoju. Cameroon in West Africa or Central Africa?
West.
Doumbia passes the ball across the court. Rebecca Nkada. Akinyi now gets to Semaseku. Semaseku through the defense. And then the shovel pass doesn't reach its intended target. You can see the frustration on Semaseku's face. Did a great job slicing through the defense. Post players need to stay ready.
Yeah, maybe Becky Nkata found herself in no man's land, because she's a guard and she found herself in an area where the post players normally have their hands ready. But that's no excuse.
Bosbori trying to shake off Semaseku. Kicks it out to the corner. Back to Bosbori. Bosbori baseline drive.
KPA played that defensive possession perfectly for 23 seconds and then bailed them out right at the buzzer, because that shot was going nowhere. KPA played really stifling defense, but they did not realize the shot clock and ended up fouling.
And now we reach a critical moment where every free throw really matters. And Zetech Sparks, again, shooting 22% from the line. That's just unacceptable at this stage and at this level of play. And I'm sure Coach Obi will have a lot to say about that when this game is over, regardless of the outcome, as Semaseku brings the ball up. She has been phenomenal for KPA. Ball gets back into her hands. Got 10 seconds on the shot clock. She shoots.
That was a high rebound. And you see, if there's something that the players have been doing this game, they have been relying on their athletic abilities to go after the rebound instead of us putting a body on a body and boxing out. Especially when the rebound goes as high as that, you have to box out. Blocking foul called on Yvonne Akinyi, not able to keep up with Michelle Sokoju.
We got a substitution for Kenya Ports Authority as Kiyobe checks into the game. Rebecca Nkada comes out, and then a timeout called on the floor. I think the tension is starting to build here as we go through this fourth quarter. It's a 2-point game, and every possession matters at this stage.
With 6:38 on the clock, So there's not much time left in this game, and the players, they need to realize that.
If you're Coach Obi, what adjustments do you want Zetech Sparks to make?
I would want them I would want them to force Michelle to use the screens more so that she gets a mismatch, like what she did just now against Yvonne, because that's a way. I mean, that's a more favorable matchup than her being guarded by Alima, because Alima is a straight up on-ball defender. I would want to see Michelle run more pick and rolls with either Beryl or maybe even Christine to force the mismatch. And then maybe another adjustment, or that I would emphasize, is that for Michelle and Bossibori to be on the same side of the floor, so that if Michelle, when she drives, if the help comes, she can kick it out. At least Bossibori has been hitting down the shots.
Well, let's hope Coach Obi can read your mind, Tranel.
Or let's hope he will watch the game after this and maybe pick it up for tomorrow. But as you mentioned earlier, Coach Obi he's a brilliant coach.
Whatever we notice, I'm sure that he has already picked up on it. Bosbori tries the give and go action, unsuccessful. Michelle Sokoju, head fake, gets locked up, has to kick it out for the shot. Step back three, too strong. And now it's a battle for the boards. And it slips out of Velma Acheng's fingertips, so the ball will stay on that end of the court. Michelle kicks it out to the corner. Bosbori locked up. Great deflection, and now Semaseku to bring the ball up. And you can see Kenya Ports Authority being patient. Dumbia gets the ball to Velma Acheng. Acheng just too soft on that touch. And KPA come up empty on that possession.
They're still hanging on to a 1-point lead.
Good feed into the post. Angela Akinyi tries to make something out of it. Great defense from Barbara. The steal and the block. And once again, Kenya Ports Authority, momentum clearly on their side, even though they've not been able to convert in the last couple of possessions, but they do have the slight 1-point advantage here. Barbara, too strong.
After the game, I would like to see the total rebounds tally between KPA and Zetech. I feel like Zetech are dominating the board game.
Akinyi from downtown. Her first 3-point shot made comes in the fourth quarter.
And what a time for it to fall. Just at the right time.
Just at the right time.
And you can see how excited and happy her bench were for her, because they are aware of her struggle so far.
Semaseku now down the lane is a steal from Bosbori. Michelle Sokoju goes down the lane. Nice soft touch on the glass. Zetech take a 3-point lead. Coach from KPA is forced to call a timeout. Coach Ojuku under pressure.
And that is the right call, because the last thing you'd want is for a team to build momentum. We saw Coach Obi do it in the first quarter when KPA went on a small run that got their bench fired up. He immediately called the timeout.
We said it, basketball is a game of stops and runs. Zetech Sparks have gone on a 5-point run here and has taken the lead away from Kenya Ports Authority. And you've mentioned it, Tranel. Zetech Sparks are doing a good job on the defensive end. They're making stops, they're grabbing rebounds, but then now when they go on the offensive end, they're unable to convert. Their decision making is a little bit stunted, but they've had some good, fortunate incidences where they've had some good looks at the rim, and they've stuck to it. And that's basketball. You just got to stick to the things that you know will work when the shots start to fall eventually.
Also, there's something else that I've noticed, that after that fast break, Zetech are normally a transition team. They are normally very good in the transition. And this particular game, they haven't been able to get out and run as much as they normally do. So I don't know whether that's credit to KPA or Zetech are just not running. Zetech, they have 21 turnovers. That is a bit concerning. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong page. KPA have 21 turnovers, and I doubt that that's something that Coach Anthony Ojuku will be happy with, because you can't turn over the ball that much in a finals game, especially with a team with the wealth of experience that KPA has. So that is definitely something that I'm sure he will address maybe after the game.
Semaseku trying to direct traffic. She's in the corner, tries to float a pass into Gracie Rebu. Rebu couldn't get a handle on it.
But they are lucky enough to retain possession.
And that was a dangerous pass.
Very. I was just about to say that was an ill-advised pass. Almost a steal by Christina Kinyi.
Zetech Sparks, when they lock in defensively, they are very, very disruptive, and that is exactly what they're doing with this KPA offense. 12 seconds now on the shot clock. Zetech are starting to operate like a well-oiled machine here defensively. Doumbia fires, clutch 3-ball from Alima Doumbia, and it is score tied in Makande Gymnasium.
Again. We are tied again. And these teams just can't pull away from each other. And as people who are watching the game, we love to see that. Ooh.
Reverse lane isn't going to get there for Michelle Sokuju. And the great pass from Angela Akinyi on the cut for Michelle. And then she just didn't have the steam to close out the play. Unfortunate for them. So it is still 46 points apiece here. Semaseku drive, wants to kick it out for the shot, but it's a kick. So the ball will stay on this end of the court.
Whenever Semaseku puts the ball down and makes that baseline drive, she has such a powerful dribble. And then she protects the ball so well with the other side of her body. It is very hard to steal that ball.
The advantage of having a low center of gravity, and now we have the unforced turnover. Kiyobe, one step too many. Ball goes back the other end. 3 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock. In Uganda, they call it malaria time, but we're not there yet. In America, they call it crunch time.
Crunch time, no.
We're not quite there yet. 3 minutes 46 is still plenty of time in the game clock.
Yeah, that's still a lot of time in this game. As Michelle again forced to kick the ball out because of the pressure. Great up and under. Oh, she doesn't get it to drop. That was a beautiful move as she got Velma to leave the ground.
Put her on a spin cycle, and once again has managed to draw the foul. So Zetech Sparks need to start hitting their free throws. Again, it's been a deplorable stat line at 22%. Beryl Aoko on the line, gets the first one to go, gets the second one as well.
Very nice time to show up.
It is indeed. Every attempt matters at this point in the game. Semaseku, misplaced pass. Zetech Sparks now looking to make him pay. Christina Kinyi thought about the shot, almost loses her footing. Kicks it out up top. Sokoju, so fast with that first step, and she is unable to make that shot. And we got a jump ball situation. Angela Akinyi doing the Lord's work on the boards.
I'm telling you, these the Zetech Sparks post players have really worked the offensive class in this game. I would love to see the tally at the end of the game.
Akinyi, she's got Irebu on her. They're going to call the travel.
Yeah, she shuffled her feet with pressure defense. And you see, for many people, they will focus on the defense by Grace, but that turnover was actually caused because the other guards were cut off and she had no one to pass the ball to. So the KPA guards were locked in off the ball, which is amazing.
Dumbia in the face of Sokoju. Comes up short. Bosbori now tries to fire a pass to Sokoju.
Great recovery by Dumbia as Aminata is off to the races. Kicks it out to Kyobe, thought about it, takes it. Doesn't get it to go, and the glass is controlled by Zetech as Michelle Sokoju brings it up.
Christine Akinyi wide open from the wing. And it was the right shot. She had a great look at the basket. And you can see her teammates encouraging her, but that is a frustrated look on her face because she knows that she can do better. We know that she can do better, and it's just one of those days where it's a tough day in the office.
I'm just wondering why she fell down after a shot and she was all alone.
Her shoes look slippery. Dumbia, tough lay-in, and it's blocked. You see them talking to each other. Monster swat from Christine Akinyi. Zetech maintaining this 2-point lead, and that is largely in part to their defensive efforts on this floor. Offensively, a lot is not working for them. Defensively, they are trying over and over to give themselves chances. Semaseku now off the mark. Look at the effort from Kyobe.
And it results in a foul by Bosibori. She put her biceps in it. KPA possession. That's the fourth foul on Bosibori. Time is 1:57. Zetech hanging on to a 2-point lead.
You got a substitution on the floor. Semaseku gets a breather. Natalie Akinyi, the veteran point guard, is now on the floor. And we've talked about how deep KPA's bench is. Natalie Akinyi, one of the well-decorated players in Kenya's basketball scene. Dumbia. We've talked about the battle between the West African guards. This time she kicks it out to Natalie Akinyi. Natalie Akinyi's off. Big boards from Barbara. And we got the steal. But we got a clarification on the floor. Ball definitely hit the rim, so there was a shot clock reset.
Yes.
Ojuku on the bottom left hand of the screen. Not mincing any words.
He really does. He really does.
But the pressure is on.
The pressure is on. The table, they forgot to reset the shot clock and it went off. It's a human error. It's okay. And it is correctable.
It happens. But that's just how you know the pressure is on. I'm sure his blood pressure spiked because that was looking like a clean, fast break for Zetech Sparks.
I mean, with 1:41 left in the game, and given how tight this game has been, definitely that possession is very crucial for KPA.
Irebu gets it to Akinyi. Akinyi almost stolen. She gets it back for the wide open 3-ball. Not gonna get there. We talked about the boards. Kyobe fighting for her life in that paint. And now Dumbia finds Grace, but they're gonna call the 3 seconds. They're gonna call the 3 seconds on Grace Irebu, who was camped out in the paint. And that's a good eye and the right call from the referee.
Again, very frustrating for KPA. They thought that they had the wide open look as the referees are deliberating.
One minute and 10 seconds to go here in this game. Tranel says we still can't call it malaria time. But as the game clock continues to tick away, Kenya Ports Authority are losing more time to make a difference in this stat line. Doumbia, steal! Huge defensive play from Beryl Aoko.
With 50 seconds left in this game, you can literally feel the tension. It's so thick you can cut it with a knife.
Christina Kinyi, can she get this one to drop? No! Her shooter's touch still isn't there with 37 seconds to go in this game.
As Zetech hold on to a 2-point lead. They're fighting tooth and nail. Almost turning it over. Foul is called on the floor. The good thing is that Zetech are not in the foul penalty yet. So it should be a side ball inbound. Yes.
So critical seconds here in this game. We got a timeout called by Kenya Ports Authority, and they know that they've not been able to convert on their last several possessions. The pressure is on. It is important for KPA to get at least one win on their home court before they head back to Nairobi for the remaining 3 games. Tranel, what are the chances this series is going to go to Game 5?
If Game 1 is any indication on how close it has been, I have a feeling that it's going to be a back and forth. I think it will go to at least Game 4, at the minimum. At the minimum.
I agree with you entirely. And ladies and gentlemen, on the back burner, we've got the men's game between Kenya Ports Authority and Nairobi City Thunder coming up after this one. So you definitely want to clear out your schedule for this afternoon as we enjoy the first of a 2-day back-to-back doubleheader here at Makande Gymnasium.
And we are very gracious after this game. We will give our viewers time to go and get their refreshments, to adjust the cushion on the
Stock up
sofa.
on your snacks.
Stand up, stretch a bit.
But the pressure is on for Kenya Ports Authority, who certainly don't want to start out this series with a loss on their home court. The gymnasium already packed out, as you can see on your screens. The fans are expecting to see wins here. But let's see how this game pans out.
Time is 35.4 seconds left. And I think the pressure is more on KPA because they're at home. They need to defend their home court. If Zetech are able to get even one win, that should be good enough for them. But KPA should be looking to get both.
So it's going to be Kiyobe to inbound. And look at the drive from Kiyobe. That's a great play written up by Coach Ojuku.
Lovely give and go. Basic basketball.
Textbook basketball is where Kenya Ports Authority thrive. And now Bosbori down the lane. Ball is stolen. Doumbia gets it to Kiyobe. Kiyobe is fouled. Wasn't able to finish out the play.
With 13.1 seconds left in the game clock. Beautiful stop by Alima Doumbia on the other end. Clutch defense. My God. Did you see how the gymnasium erupted the moment Alima stole that ball?
Huge defensive play from Alima Doumbia. We've talked about how she has been a two-way specialist in this series, getting things done on the defensive and offensive end. And now, even though Kiyobe missed that attempt, she has an opportunity to not just take the lead, but give KPA a 2-point lead.
And possibly win the game for them. Possibly. Man, I don't envy Kiyobe at all, but she has got ice water in her veins. Cold.
I've seen her in very tense scenarios and high pressure situations. And this girl doesn't crack. This is someone who plays for the Rwandese national team. She gets the first free throw to drop. Second one is a miss. KPA now with a 1-point lead. All the fans at the edges of their seat. Kiyobe with a steal. She's going down the lane. Then she wants the foul. The refs haven't called anything. And there's a kick ball.
With 1.2 seconds left. Oh, I felt there was a lot of contact on both ends. First Michelle, then Kiyobe. Wow.
Zetech Sparks call for a timeout.
1.2 seconds left. And
when we
possession is with KPA.
when we say the referees are letting the girls play, listen, they are letting the girls play because as Turnell said, there was a lot of contact on that chase down and no whistle until Kiyobe went tumbling down to the floor. And I have to give credit to Kiyobe. Another player would have tried to either sell the foul or, blame the ref, but she was focused.
Locked in. Totally
She was locked in. She
Did you
had
see the look on her face?
her eyes were set. She knew her target and she was going for it. And KPA now with a 1-point lead, 1 second on the clock. Is it enough time for Zetech Sparks to even out the score?
All KPA have to do is successfully inbound the ball. Literally, with 1.2 seconds, all you have to do is to just successfully inbound that ball. I think if I was Zetech, I would go to foul immediately. But again, with 1.2 seconds left, it is Zetech ball with 1.2 seconds left.
It is. Zetech called the timeout.
Let's see what play Coach Obi has come up with as he tries to ease the tension by taking a sip of water. But I doubt that will help much. And this has been a back and forth.
It really has a very low scoring finals game, but it's been very evenly matched out. And now we have the whistle. Michelle Sokoju is going to inbound. She's got the ball in her hands. Kicks it out to Bosbori. Bosbori fires! Oh, so close, but so far. And Kenya Ports Authority hang on to walk away with their first victory of this series. As Zetech Sparks, you can see them comforting Bosbori. You know what, Turnell? I agree with that decision from Coach Obi. I would want the ball in her hands for the 3-point shot attempt.
And that play was run to perfection.
You saw Christina Kinyi draw the defense into the corner.
Yes.
And then Bosbori popped up to the top of the key where she's a high percentage shooter from beyond the arc.
Yes.
So that was executed very well by Zetech Sparks, but they just couldn't get the bucket.
$100 move with a 10-cent finish.
Well, I wouldn't call it a 10-cent finish. The shot looked good.
Yeah.
The shot looked good.
As I said, $100 move. Play was run to perfection. Christine pulled the defense to one side. Then Bosbori came through the double screen and they locked it in. So she had all the time in the world. It was a wide open shot. And as a coach, I would be happy with that. And Zetech have nothing to feel bad about because they proved that they deserve to be a number one. That it wasn't by chance that they finished the regular season as the top seed. And today they really brought it.
That they did. A very incredible effort from Zetech Sparks. And it's Kenya Ports Authority who managed to take the victory from home. Listen, our full-time score was 48-49. We've still got more basketball on the way. Don't go too far. We'll be right back with the men's action in just a moment.